My name's Hargreaves. I own with my wife Orbit Tandems. Orbit is a company that we bought in 2006. It's been going since the 70s, and we've been developing it as a tandem only brand since 2006. When we bought the company, 3 models, and now we're doing about 18 different models.
Wow.
Generally, the taller rider goes at the front, the taller, stronger rider goes at the front, because it's easier for the taller rider to control the tandem and the rear rider. Yeah. So if you've got a tall rider on the back and a small rider on the front, the small rider will find it hard to control the tandem round the corners. You'd always try and put the more experienced cyclist on the front rather than the less experienced cyclist. It's a little bit different to riding a normal bike. There's 2 people on one bike, so you got a lot of elements to come together, but it's not actually difficult to do. Sociability, yeah. So being able to talk together. You know, if you've got riders of 2 different abilities, they can ride together in perfect harmony. You know, so it's more the social element. You know, being able to ride together and chat as you go along, and you do everything together. You experience everything together. The 3 things that you need for a fast tandem are comfort, stiffness and weight, so low weight. If you can combine all 3 of those, then you get something that's comfortable over a long distance, stiff enough to climb the hills, and low enough weight to increase the efficiency over the whole trip. Well, from a frame point of view, I'm talking about vibration through the frame back into the riders. So over a long period of time, that vibration coming off the road will hamper the rider's performance, make them less comfortable, you know, stiffer over a long period.
So what design features help reduce that comfort?
Geometry to a large degree, choice of frame materials, like this is 6000 series aluminium, so it's a nice stiff frame but also quite comfortable. Actually, with a tandem as opposed to a solo bike, you need to generate more stiffness in the frame. So actually aluminium is an ideal material. Well, this bike's been set up specifically for the attempt. So it's got a 140-inch top gear, which means that for every pedal revolution in top gear, it'll actually go 11 metres down the road. Well, for example, if you're pedalling top speed on a normal bike, in top gear down a hill, you usually top out around 30-32 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Where this would comfortably go up to 45 to 50 miles an hour. Well, a tandem specifically will use a lot higher top gear because there's only 1 wind resistance and there's 2 riders. So especially on the downhill where your wheelbase doesn't hamper you, you can actually retain a much higher speed and hold a much higher speed for a longer period. So your bigger gear is important to enable you to do that. Well, it's very critical is aerodynamics, but bearing in mind this is a 2-day race, so constant riding for 2 days, aerodynamics will have to compromise with comfort because an aerodynamic position is a little bit, you know, uncomfortable. Don't generally find on tandems, you don't generally find carbon forks, shorter wheelbase, closer clearances on the bike so that, you know, make the wheelbase as short as possible so it climbs well. But you know, having said all that, you've got to also make it comfortable.
To sort out.
Power meters on a tandems are not the easiest thing to sort out. So what we've done is actually put a power crank on, but it's had to be put on backwards and recalibrated. Well, we had to swap the pedal axles around within the pedals to make them work, so the pedals are the right way around. The narrower tyre you go, so on the track where it's completely smooth, you'd use an 18mm tyre, so really narrow, like a 200 psi. So, you know, but if you try and ride that on the road, you'd be shaken to death by the vibration of it. So you've got to choose a tyre that suits the road conditions. So this is a main road challenge for the most part. So most of the riding will be done on the main road, predominantly smooth. So we'll actually go a little bit narrower than we normally go with the tyre. But the bigger the tyre, the more comfort, but slower. the smaller the tyre, the more vibration you get back through the bike. Not to stop too much,
Yeah.
to keep a good average speed, but not to go too fast or too slow. Support obviously from the team, mechanical support, food on a regular basis, all the other elements, drink and food. It's a bit of fun. For me, it's great fun.